And if that wasn't enough, the next day, on Sunday basically, the 17th, we're going to be having that Mercury and Uranus meeting in the sky. Mercury, as I said, is the lower octave of Uranus, the two planets of the mind meeting each other. And this usually means a really powerful epiphany, breakthrough, but of course just mental, but that is more than enough. Because if we have the grand plan right now, and that plan can be as incomplete as you want, that plan can just be, I want to live this or do this or be this in 2022 or further. Some things require more than 1 year, let's say. And that's enough. Because you will find a way as you go along. You might have to change that plan, the modus operandi, 10 times by the time it's completed, but you wanting it, having the plan that you're gonna do it, is more than enough. But this opposes the moon, so that means that you will shock yourself. Whatever your breakthrough moment, epiphany moment, eureka moment, brainstorm moment, shock moment, negative surprise even. It doesn't have to be positive. No one said it has to be positive. But chances are, I do believe that this is one of the most positive energies. Like, let's be serious. It's gonna shock you. Your own mind, your own idea, your own epiphany is gonna shock you. And let's hope in the most beautiful sense, because this is Scorpio. The moon will be in Scorpio after all. And the moon is debilitated in Scorpio. And what that Scorpio is, well, how your life was always, the usual unconscious patterns, and when you see the change that you're already different, well, then you know that those patterns are just a memory now. Pluto reminding you that that which was an active, running trauma in your life just 10 months ago is now just a memory. You can't, how should I say, immerse into the energy and the lived experience of the suffering. You can only remember an image, but the feeling is not, the suffering is not there anymore. So this is one of the highest expressions of this energy, because yes, Uranus and this Mercury is a cerebral energy, but Taurus's value, self-worth included, a healthy psyche, a healthy, basically, modus vivendi, everything that has to do with life in a healthy way. And this is the cherry on top. Mercury is going to be sextiled by Venus. That means Uranus is going to be sextiled by Venus. Venus is the ruling planet of Taurus. This is a very strong synergy. So that's why I'm thinking that this is definitely going to be good news. Sextile is not easy. It's not free. It doesn't drop from the sky. But sextile is blessed work. Whatever you'll touch, for example, artistically, Venus, Taurus, Mercury and Taurus, as I said, that can be craftsmanship, handiwork, artistic expression, baking, cooking, anything where you physically work and do something good and beautiful with it. That is blessed. You have no idea where it's gonna be taking you. Or let me give you a totally different expression of this energy. Someone has a really beautiful physique, but for doesn't matter what reasons, they never ever use it for anything. They make it totally useless. And this is where this energy just pushes them and says, look, boy or girl, whatever, you're beautiful, well, do something with it. Maximum, if you don't want to do anything else, dress up beautifully and go out and allow people to smile at you. So this is where the universe forces us. But when I say force, is not in a Saturnian way where there's no way out. It kind of inspires us constantly, 24/7, irritates us, do this, to bring out our very, very valuable, most beautiful and best self, and not just to do this emotionally, Venus, but to also do this mentally, Uranus and Mercury. Of course, for most people, this is going to be very practical, like that project, that good solution, that loan, that emergency money, that grand plan how to do the impossible, a project or whatever, very practical. So for a lot of people, this energy is going to help them immensely. And perhaps those who are more earthly people are not even going to notice the Jupiter and Neptune conjunction, but are going to be delighted by their imminent success or breakthrough or triumph, even though this Mercury and Uranus connection is small energy. It's for the immediate, it's for next month maybe. Maybe for some people it can be big very, very rarely because Venus sextiles it, and Venus is in the karmic sign of Pisces. So for maybe one person in 1,000 is gonna be life changing in a big way, but for other people it's gonna be like small. But this is where the universe, Pisces and Virgo, Pisces Virgo axis, can be just like us sometimes. When the universe says, well, look, I want to be a bad guy today, and I'll discriminate those people who are not actively in tune with me by just not allowing them to enjoy the Neptunian vibes. Because usually we get the negative expression, just think back. 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, lies, deception, lies. But lies which you're forced to believe because you don't have a choice. You know, the state tells you either you believe the lie or I'll kill you. What will you do? Anyway, this is too controversial. And at the very end of the week, we have the Sun squaring Pluto. How much we changed. For some people, this is the change. For some people, it's not easy energy. It will make them feel totally powerless. It can make them feel totally worthless, like a plant. But everything has a divine reason. Why? Because the universe is telling you, change now. Because you're late already. You're way too late. You should have changed by now already. But you haven't so quickly. Go and recuperate the lost time. But for other people who did embrace the change, their own change is gonna shock them. The Sun, the identity, Aries, knowing yourself, and Pluto shocking them with the truth. You did this a different way than you usually did. You spoke to that person a different way. You know, this is where you notice how much you changed in the smallest to the biggest gestures. And for most people, that change is good, positive. Pluto, truth, their own truth, stepping into their power. Pluto not allowing the Sun ego to have his silly ways, maturity, responsibility. And all of this can coexist in perfect harmony with the inner child, exalted Sun. And finally, there is a minor astrological conversation that I don't want to omit because it's so beautiful. Pluto trining Sedna. Sedna is, perhaps to the present day, one of the slowest moving planetoids in our solar system. It takes her about 12,000 years to revolve around the Sun, so she's a permanent guest from our limited perspective in the sign of Taurus. And Sedna represents a deep, deep sacrifice which changes. A sacrifice which turns into a miracle, basically. On a higher level, she is the guardian of nature, Taurus, and she makes sure that nature upgrades herself, that species evolve, that there is natural selection, etc., etc. But on a deeply personal level, Sedna is that which we sacrifice to embody our truthful spirit and our deepest love. And Sedna is very special because she doesn't question love. Sedna doesn't say it has to be Christ love, unconditional love, this love, that love. Sedna says anything that is love, I support it. Because the legend of Sedna, well, she was a goddess, the daughter of a big god. And as an act of rebellion, she kind of married a dog, much to the shock and dismay of her father. So he sentenced her to be thrown in the deeps of the sea, and she was, but she couldn't be thrown because she held on to the boat as strongly as she could. So they had to cut off her fingers. She fell into the ocean and became goddess of the sea. But from her fingers, her cut fingers, the dolphins and whales and all the big aquatic creatures have spawned, according to the legend. Which means that Sedna knows what sacrifice is, and the finger turned into whale, an animal. So her sacrifice was beyond what she could have possibly imagined. And Pluto trining this, well, that is a really beautiful energy. Because it represents that a long-term sacrifice that we have been continuously providing for ourselves, for a principle, for a parent, for an animal, for whatever, is gonna now pay off one way or another, in an alchemical way, let's say. Pluto, after all, as in it already transformed our lives. And sometimes this can represent big money. Pluto in Capricorn. Pluto in Capricorn is the wealthiest guy in the zodiac, basically, in all the planets. Pluto in Capricorn is the multi-millionaire in his yacht and his mobile phone, just enjoying life and giving orders because everyone else works for him. So basically, sometimes that multi-millionaire Pluto can throw a huge chunk of power, maybe earthly power, Sedna, Taurus, Capricorn, at you for a sacrifice. Because, Pluto can also be impressed by sacrifice, by something beautiful. Because, Pluto and Persephone. Pluto did allow, after all, Persephone to return to Demetra 6 months, and not because he's good, because Demetra's protest impressed him. And ultimately, Demetra bringing the eternal winter, Hades had a lot of guests in the underworld, much more than he was comfortable with, so to speak. So yes, this is a week where we have so much going on. Sun sextile Saturn, blessed work. If you have a bright idea, project, or someone gives you a job, think about it, be open to it, even if you can't accept it, because this is really, really blessed opportunity. Saturn rarely allows, and sextile the sun, your identity, whatever is, well, it's custom made for you. So work or seize the opportunity, believe, create, or phone, or write, or type, or do whatever it is you have to do, but do something to embrace this energy. And also the Jupiter and Neptune conjunction being sextiled, not to the degree, by Pluto, deeply, deeply transformational. And Pluto is actually a very close planet to the third decan of Pisces, because the third decan of Pisces is Scorpio. It is scorpionic energy. It is the undoing of the self-transformation. So when Pluto touches anything in that 20 to 30 degrees of Pisces, that is much stronger than any other expression, because Pluto is at full power there. Pluto in that position is the god of psyche, psychoanalysis itself. It sees all our deepest secrets, even that which our own eyes cannot see. Hence why it is the greatest alchemist in the zodiac. So this is the week of deep contemplation and reflection, and yet at the same time we cannot stay passive in the dream, because all the sextiles require us to take action. Saturn requires us to manage business, manage money, be in physical reality, have connections, answer the phone, reply to the text message, not ignore people, and this won't be easy. And then that very strong revelatory full moon in the sign of Libra that will change the world stage, of course. So that will affect later on all of us as well. But that full moon in Libra can be so important for us individually as well. Something that we get back from a partner, or a new partnership, or any kind of important information to help us make a very delicate decision, maybe a choice decision that has been pending for 10 years. Where do I move, for example? Where do I feel at home in the world? That is something that won't be answered to you in a week, maybe in 10 years, but then it takes such a full moon for you to truly feel confident that you know the answer. But there is the T-square to Pluto. I said the meme. I've changed, you were supposed to. So this is what your spirit, or maybe you'll be telling this to yourself in the mirror, but this will definitely be the theme. You've changed and you become aware of it, but in such a way where it really shocks you. Lilith into Cancer, Mars into Scorpio, a lot of water activation, emotional deluge, basically. And before I finish, Neptune and Jupiter in the sky, flood. Flood, water, tsunami, in every way, shape and form. Physically, yes, but it can be emotional, it can be karma, it can be the occult, the paranormal as well. It can be so very many different things. But the feeling of being deluged, drowned, washed away by the flood, well, that is what's gonna be really, really, how should I say, important in this case. So what I can say is, let's embody our most diligent and grounded self, because deep inside of us, we are living this conjunction. We are deeply in the realm of Pisces, no chance to escape. But perhaps the mind, the rational soul, also exists in the physical world and has a lot of power. So maybe for the first time, the fact that we are living two realities at the same time doesn't send us into schizophrenia, doesn't tear our mind or consciousness into two, but actually we can coexist, as in the rational soul with the soul, mind with the heart, can coexist in perfect harmony. And we ourselves, as individual Aquarius, can coexist with the other, with society, with the world, with anyone, because we learned the lesson of how to coexist, how not to poison other people, the other, with our own shadow. And we also developed immunity to other people's poison. Again, where does this lead us? To the meme. We've changed and we were supposed to. So this concludes our horoscope. Thank you so much for listening. I hope that this was helpful to you, and my advice, just be this week. Do whatever it is that you can, because it is gonna be unique. If you'd like to support my work, you can donate in the PayPal link in the description below. With this being said, I wish everyone a miraculous, fantastic week, as much as it is possible, because I do know that there are some people out there who are in deep, deep depression and in pain and in suffering, and they don't see the light at the end of the tunnel at all. But perhaps this conjunction can wash away even that. Because sometimes the whirlpool has to drag you to the bottom of the bottomless ocean, the soul, to take off the hurt, the pain, the injustice, the dagger that basically existence just shoved into your heart, the heart of an innocent. And I do believe that you know who I'm actually saying this to, that very special viewer. Perhaps it is this Neptune and Jupiter conjunction that can wash away even that which is unforgivable and unwashable. Thank you so much. Until next time, bye for now.